Hello there. This is Chris, your friendly neighborhood storyteller. I hope you guys are doing great and having a fantastic life. Before we begin today's story, I'll request you to drop in a like and subscribe the channel for regular content. With that being said, let's begin the story. The title for the story is New Town. As the name suggests, our story takes place in a new town. The hero of the story, Steve, is a young man with big aspirations. He's landed a job in his dream company and he's looking forward to make a good life out of it. Now Steve moves to this new town and he's looking forward to find a place for himself. The people of this town are a little reclusive, so it becomes a little difficult for Steve to find a new place for himself. After a couple of weeks, Steve ends up getting an offer for an apartment. Without any hesitation, Steve grabs on to this deal. Now, right before moving to this apartment, the agent who bought the deal to Steve informs him, "Sir, the chairman of the colony stays right under your floor, so you need to be a little careful." Now, this chairman has got a little history for himself. He has evicted a lot of tenants in the past and has a bit of a arrogant attitude, so you have to be a little careful. Well, Steve assures the agent that he's gonna make the most of this opportunity and he's gonna maintain the decorum to his best. Now Steve moves to this apartment. He invites a couple of his new office colleagues for a housewarming party and things are going great. Life has never been better. He has got himself his dream job. He's having this great apartment and everything's going smooth. One morning, while Steve is doing his chores, he ends up getting a knock on his door. This is quite unusual. As Steve is new to the town, he usually finds no visitors. And on top of that, someone early in the morning is something that Steve never expected. Steve opens the door and finds himself in front of the chairman. Now the chairman looks at Steve and says, "Young man, why do you sleep so late at night?" Now Steve is an early riser, so to get up early in the morning, he needs to go early to bed. So he's a little shocked by what the chairman just informed him. He replies back by saying, "Dear sir, I go early to bed, so I'm not sure what you're talking about." The chairman gives a strange look and says, "Young man, you need to get yourself checked. I'm sure you're dream walking." Well, before Steve could reply to his statement, the chairman leaves the conversation. Steve gets back to his chores and is thinking about what exactly happened this morning. Well, a couple of weeks pass by. Just like earlier, Steve is doing his morning chores and he ends up getting a heavy knocking on the door. As he opens the door, he finds the chairman again, this time a little bit agitated and angrier than before. He tells Steve, "Are you guys not serious about your lives?" Now Steve is shocked by the statement. He asks the chairman, "Did I do something wrong, sir?" The chairman replies, "Did you do something wrong? Are you seriously asking me that question?" Now Steve is a little agitated by the chairman's behavior. He asks the chairman, "What did I do?" The chairman replies, "Watchman informed me that there was a girl sitting on the wall of your balcony in the middle of the night." Steve is shocked by what he has just heard. Before he could reply back, the chairman leaves. Right before taking the staircase, the chairman looks back at Steve, giving him a stern look, tells him, "Consider this your last warning, young man," and leaves. Steve is absolutely shocked as to what has happened by what the chairman informed him. A girl, midnight, and this is the second time something unusual has been informed to him that he is not aware of. Now Steve gets back to his chores again, thinking what was told to him, being more careful, maintaining the decorum. In few weeks, there was a celebration in Steve's office. Now Steve was given the responsibility of making sure that everything is looked after. Steve was discussing this with his colleagues, and the conversation went on for long, right from planning what to do, how to do, and what all resources he's gonna need. The conversation went on for late in the evening. As Steve was an early to bed person, his cycle today has been broken. As we all know, if you do something unusual, it takes a little time to acclimatize yourself again to the situation. So, Steve's not getting any sleep this evening. He brings up his phone and he's scrolling through the social media, limitless scrolling. Time passes by. In some time, Steve hears someone walking heavily in the living room. Steve is taken aback by what he has just heard. He thinks maybe there is a break in to his apartment. Now, he doesn't want to be a hero unnecessarily, so he gets himself his baseball bat and opens the door slowly, trying to see as much as possible. He slowly tiptoes his way out and moves to kitchen. Shortly, he understands that there is no one in the apartment. Steve takes a sigh of relief and grabs himself some water and is finally planning to go to bed. Right before he is entering his bedroom, he sees his balcony doors open with a thud. A strong wind blows on his face. As he's looking to understand what happened, he sees a dark figure moving straight at him. The dark figure rushed right through Steve. As Steve opens his eyes, he sees the morning sun. The birds are chirping, and he looks at the clock. It is 8 in the morning. Steve is completely shocked and scared of what he has just experienced. He packs his bag, gets whatever he can, and leaves the apartment. Steve goes straight to his colleague's house and spends the rest of the week there. He would seldom come and pick his other things from the apartment, but never stay in his apartment again. After a couple of months, Steve found himself at a party. Now, this party was organized by his office people for the new employees. Steve struck up a good conversation with one of the employees. Her name was Samantha. Samantha informed Steve that she has stayed in this town for the last couple of years, and she finds behavior of the people in the town a bit strange. Well, as the conversation go by, Samantha asks Steve where he is at currently. Steve informs her that he is in block 14 and he was at block 10 before. Samantha, shocked, says, "Block 10? Well, I used to stay in that same block. It's one of the most posh places in town. Everything is easily accessible. Why would you leave such a place?" Steve ignores the question and asks the same question again. "Well, why did you leave?" Samantha answered, "Well, I was living in this town a couple of months ago with one of my roommates until she went missing." "Missing?" asked Steve. "Yes, she went missing. It was found out later that her boyfriend had murdered her and disposed her body in the water tank." Steve was shocked by this. Somehow he jotted the points and asked Samantha about this apartment. Samantha informed the apartment number. This was none other than the same apartment that he had just left a couple of months ago. Wow, that was a great story. Well, if you like it, go ahead and drop a like and drop a comment if you have any suggestions, and I will love to have a look at it. Also, as I informed earlier, if you have any requests for graphic work, go ahead and hit me up on email and I will have a look into it. Well, I'll sign off and meet you in the next story. Until then, adios.